past few years, collective research has debunked the popular myths that a high-fiber diet lifestyle can cause unfinished housework, late dinners, and neglected family members. In fact, continuing studies show that a high-fiber diet lifestyle may significantly improve the disposition of a crafter, creating a more contented home life. Furthermore, continued exposure can develop an ability to endure meetings, waiting rooms, school functions, and sporting events without experiencing the kind of boredom it makes one want to consume lead paint. Here are just a few ways one can properly increase daily fiber intake. Visit your local yard store or shop online. Join online fiber communities. Tour sheep or alpaca farms. Attend fiber festivals. Or listen to the High Fiber Diet podcast. Please remember to spread your fiber intake throughout the day rather than trying to get it all in one shot. Stretching and resting is important, and your body will thank you.
Hi, welcome to 2025. It's been half a month. Hopefully it's going well for you. And how do I start this? It's been a while since I sat down and did a confession. I have a hot cup of tea here. It's going to get me through, a little bit of lemon in it. And welcome to the High Fiber Diet. My name is Carrie. I go by Coggy online. I live in Western Michigan, right off the shores of Lake Michigan in Grand Haven. And I am a knitting addict. Yes. Is that how we start this? It's been a while. I keep thinking, man, I need to sit down and do this. And then it's like, find time, something comes up. So today we have some finished objects, some spinning, some work in progress, some acquisitions, not a whole ton, but some. I am completely covered here by, or should I say I'm completely surrounded by WIPs at this point. I do have my iPad up with a list of my projects so I can hopefully remember the names of them. The last couple times I've tried to edit to get the names up there, I've been having a problem with uploading after I edit, so I don't know what's going on. I use iMovie, and I'm looking to pick up a new computer, so hopefully I'll be able to move on to that later. But right now I'm recording on my phone, and it is what it is. So first thing I think is what I'm wearing. This I knit way too long ago. I think I started it while I was in Michigan last time, finished it in South Dakota, and am now wearing it now, obviously. So in 2008, we put on a retreat called Fiber in the Forest. And one of the attendees, Annetta T, had a shawl on that I just fell in love with. It's simple, but it was wonderful. You can wear it multiple ways, and it just sung to me. So I said, what is it? And she's like, there's no real pattern. Here's what you do. So what you do is you cast on 75 stitches on a size 11 needle. You put a big buttonhole about 6 inches down, and you continue slipping each end stitch. And then about 6 inches from the end, once you're finished, you put another button. Now this was made out of Rustic, a yarn by Cascade that's no longer made, but I know there are others out there that are a lot like it. It was a linen wool blend. This is a navy, and I have another one that I did up also. And I would seriously love another one of these, so I'm thinking about casting it on just because it is so easy to wear. It can just be wrapped around like this. When I wear it to work under a blazer, I bring it forward a little bit, I tuck it back, and it looks like I'm wearing another sweater type underneath it. Of course, I'm normally wearing a actual dress shirt underneath it instead of a t-shirt. But I am finding that I pull this out More often than not. I have other shawls I've done. I have other shawls that I'm still doing. But this, because of the button, is one of my go-tos. And it just wraps over the shoulders nicely. It goes across square. It doesn't bunch up. If I'm wearing it under a coat, I just kind of bring it up like that. I've still got enough that I can cinch it if I need to because it's cold and I live in Michigan. I mean, heck, we're shaped like a winter garment, so, you know. But I adore this and I wear it a lot. There's no pattern for it. I just gave you what we did and I still love wearing it. The button was just a simple wooden button. I think it's actually a coconut button. So one that I picked up in my travels somewhere along the line. So what else have I finished? Talking about mugs, I have mug cozies. This is the, I'm gonna get the right name, Loopy Mug Warmer. It is a free pattern and it does go right around the coffee mug, and I put a leather button on it so that it would, and it's a Jacob's ladder going up, so a chain stitch, and it is crocheted. I did this out of yarn that was left over from my sweater last year, and I really like it. Let's see if it'll focus. There we go, maybe. And I gave another one that was done out of scrap yarn to my director of operations, along with a mug. And I also made up a granny square mug holder that goes along with my big Yeti mugs. I can put this on my big, I don't know, it's my Hydro Flask mugs. So this goes around, and again, a great big button. I did primary colors and then with a green pop. Nothing huge, just 3 granny squares. And they're not just decorations on your mug. If your coffee's too hot, I grab my mug instead of a handle most of the time. So this helps, but it also keeps that area warm so that your coffee or tea stays warm longer. So I like mug cozies. So those are my first finished objects. I also did a pair of Toast by Leslie Friend. I wanted it to go down a little bit, so I started a little bit bigger than what she suggests. They're just arm warmers. There's no thumb hole, there's no nothing, but you put them on, goes right over my iWatch, no problem. When you're cold, you just pull it down. So I have these in my car most of the time. This was done out of leftover sock yarn that is a blue and gray, and then I carried a gray mohair along with it, all scrap, just using it up scrap. I have a hat going with leftovers. Hopefully that will get done. And when I'm driving, the steering wheel's cold because I don't have a heated steering wheel. I'm not that fancy. My husband's new car has a heated steering wheel, and he tells me about it. And I'm like, no, mine's a 2011 and it's paid off. We're good. I can knit mitts. So I can throw these on under a long sleeve shirt, and they just hang out as if you're wearing a second underneath it. So your shirt would come to here and then these come down. But if my hands get cold, I just pull them up. So to me, they're like gauntlets. I like them. It was a very simple pattern. I would recommend the Toast by Leslie Friend. I also finished, excuse me. I also finished my broken rib socks, no pattern. These are done out of Sweet Mountain Fibers Adventure Sock Club in the Hot Cocoa colorway, and it came with the mini skein to go with it. So all I did was cast on 48 stitches and on size 3 because these are DK, and I did 2x2 ribbing and then moved it down to where the ribbing came straight down into the foot, but I changed to a broken rib, which is a garter, and I did a rounded toe, and that just makes me happy. I am using Hornshaw Woodworks sock blockers. I love them. I have the full set. These are the large. I wear a size 10. They perfectly block my socks, so it's wonderful. Is that it for my finished? I think it is, except for spinning. So I have some spinning that's not quite finished, but I'm going to go into that. No, I do have a spinning that is actually finished. I'm going to do the works in progress and spinning later. This is an old stash. I don't even know where it came from. I believe it is a merino. I fractal spun and then 2-plied. So fractal spun means that I split the braid in half lengthwise so that one was just blocks of color, and the other one I split into, I think I split it into 8 portions that brought it down to what pencil roving is. And so as you can see, there are parts where the red is the background and the other colors are and then there's parts where it's blue as the background and the other colors fade in. And then there's white as the background and other colors fade in. I have over 300 yards here. It is a sport weight. It is relatively even. There's just the tiniest bit of twist once it was blocked and thwacked. It's got good spring, as you can see. I've got lots of play there. And my only thing with doing socks out of this, I belong to a group on Telegram that does spinning. And we're spinning for socks. My only thing with this one, with doing socks, is it's 100% merino. I don't have any nylon in it, and I don't have any silk in it. And those are the 2 qualities that I look for a sock yarn. You need something with stability and grit. And I just don't know. I may check out if I can find a good thread that I could carry along with it. But mostly I will probably not use this for socks, and I will do a different spin for socks. I do think a sport weight sock is a great for me. I am not a thin spinner. I never have been. My default is sport, and I spin for zen and not for intention. I can spin thicker, I can spin thinner. I don't enjoy it. And if I'm going to spend my time spinning, I let it go and do my default. Now this I did spin on my Ladybug. No. Did I spin this on? No, I spun this on Pib, which is my Hanson e-spinner. And the other things I'll be talking about I spun on the Ladybug, but this was on Pib. So Pib means plug-in boyfriend. And he is certainly that. He is a wonderful spinning wheel. So let me tuck this back together and set this aside. I'm very happy with it. Let's go into some works in progress. Where do I want to start? I've got 20 bags up here, seriously. Need to move these socks. Everything needs to be out of the way. I don't have a lot of space, even though I'm sitting at my counter. Yeah. So the first one, I haven't knit on much. I put an inch or 2, and it's got quite a bit still to go. I've still got to do pockets on it. I've got to do a lot This is done out of Drops Air. It is the Samen, S-A-M-M-E-N, Samen. Yep, S-A-M-M-E-N. And that is by Mini Me Knit Designs. It is a tunic and will have pockets eventually. Let's see if I can pull up. Here it is. Picture. And I'm just about at the point, I think I'm increasing for the pockets now. So I've gotten to that point. This is very light and fluffy. I haven't done anything with the sleeves yet. They're still just on holders. But definitely fit me. I love the color on me. This pale pink looks good on me. And I'm excited to wear it. It weighs almost nothing. I just need to get going on it. I have my bees on the ends. And I am doing this on a size, ooh, what am I using? Can I even see? Well, if it's on there, I'm blind. Let's see, did I put anything in my notes as to what size needles I did? 10.5. So I'm using 10.5 needles. These are on Chiago's. And I am holding this in my Cozy Sky Company bag. This is the one I ordered when we were moving from, I think this is the one I ordered when we were moving from South Dakota back to Michigan. So that's one project. Number 2 project is my office knitting. So when I'm on a meeting or anything, I cast these on. The leftovers of the main yarn for my garter stitch socks. And a blue, let's see, what kind of yarn is that? That is Enchanted Yarn Club colorway May of God knows when in the Dolly DK. No main colorway, just that it was a yarn club, and this is Beehive Yarns. And I have, since the first of the year, cast on the top, knit down the body. I did the heel. This is my typical 48 cast on, size 3 needles, DK weight. I did just a slip stitch heel. I prefer a heel flap and turn. Yes, I know how to do the short row, and I know how to do the fish lips kiss, and I know, yeah, been there, done that. My favorite is top down with a heel flap. They fit my foot the best. For others, I will do others. For my feet, I will do this. And I am looking for my needle holder. I am team DPN when it comes to socks. And I have a needle holder that I don't know why they weren't put in last time. And I want to make sure that it's put away correctly. Probably because I was doing payroll yesterday and I just set them aside because I was doing something else and they just never got put where they should have. So now they're getting put where they should have. Nothing fascinating about them. It's just something that I can sit there while I'm in a meeting and knit. I am holding this in my Stitched by Jessa Loose Squirrels that Lori got me. I love it. It makes me smile. Very much makes me smile. in my coffee bag. That is by Bling Your String Bags. I have my cashmere ranunculus with my elephants. I do love a good stitch holder. And I have ripped back and restarted, got it long enough underneath the arms for me. And now I am in the stockinette, and forever I will put a rib on the arms. Believe it or not, this does stretch and fit me. It's 100% cashmere, and I'm loving it. It is, I don't know if it's coming across because the lighting here is funny, but it is an apricot-y, very, very light apricot color. And I'm very happy with it. I've knit several ranunculi. I guess that's what they're called. I don't know. I love the flower. I have them in my garden in the spring when there's actually flowers. And I'm doing that on Chiagu needles as well. I think I went down to an 8 on this one. Normally I stick with the 10 that it calls for, but I went down to an 8 because I wanted it's a thinner yarn. So I wanted a little bit more stitch definition than being all open and lacy with that. Then I'm going to move into crochet. My daughter Boo has asked for a blanket. And being the mom I am, I'm making it for her. This is the Sunflower Bouquet Throw, and it rolls up into a bouquet. And I'm still working on the green parts. I got to the point of the leaves. I am doing this out of yarn she chose. So Red Heart Super Saver. It's not as bad as it used to be. Now I'm not saying it's 100% and I want a dress made out of it, but for a throw yarn, for something that's going to get washed a lot, this is fine. So every so often you do leaves on this. So it's got the 3D leaves. The next row I will connect the leaves and they will move on in the pattern. And I think I do a total of 4 sets of leaves, but they're on different, like right now it's these two. I think the next time it's on these 2 ribs. And so they go back and forth on the ribbing as you go out. It is a paid for pattern, but it is a 12 repeats. So as you go out, you're continuing the pattern 12 times. This one I don't have in a special knitting bag because it's big and bulky and all the rest of the yarn is in the other room. This one's in my Sherm bag. And I like tote bags. I'm a bag hoe. Next, let's see. I am gonna continue with this side. And this one is my, something from Brighton. What is the name of this? I know it's by Joji Locatelli. I'm not seeing it on there, so let me get in. Yes, it takes a second. Sometimes it just does. And The Way from Brighton by Joji Locatelli. I am doing this in Malabrigo Rios in the peachy colorway. And it's got colors of peaches, apricots, lots of fun. I have, of course, I'm in the middle of a row because bad podcaster, no cookie. I have done my version of the fringe. I didn't like the one that was in there. It did doubles. I like the singles, and I did them 2 different lengths. So I did the whole side of that. I always change a pattern. I don't think I can knit a pattern straight. That's just, yeah. So now I am at the point of coming up the opposite side. So you can see my corner is there. And then I'm coming up the opposite side. So it's going to build out, and it's going to be asymmetrical. And I have the garter ridges going. And I really enjoy this. And this is being held in one of the very first knitting bags I ever got. There's no name on this. I know that at the time a listener sent me to it because it was when I was doing audio, and it has the Pink Panther and military camouflage. I adore this bag. It's still one of my go-tos for shawls, for small shawls. I'll grab this one. Well made, just has a simple bead and ribbon, and I love it. So talking about shawls, this is a, can't remember the maker. That's horrible. It was an advent calendar. I'm just going to hold this up like this. These are all put into big skeins, and I am working with one. And then my carry along is a different color of that cashmere that I'm doing that other sweater out of. And I'm doing these on my, I think those are Knitter's Pride needles. Might be Knit Pro, I'm not sure. But I am just doing a simple top down garter stitch. I'll probably do ribbing at the edge just like I did on my last one that was from Charming You. I love the squish of this. It becomes a really big triangle and just something you can throw on. And I'm really liking it. I am into the third. There's no yarn management. I just made them up into cakes, and I'm going to go from one to the other, and just how it comes out, it comes out. I'm using up scraps. I have another scrappy project, and my word for the year, I had to think of this a lot at the end of last year. My word for the year this year is reduce. And reduce stress, reduce bad habits, reduce stash. I'm not saying I'm stash busting because I still buy yarn, but I'm going to keep track so that I know what's coming in and what's coming out. Like, just last night I was teaching, I teach at a knit group now. It's Cancer Survivors group. And they were like, oh, we're going to go buy yarn. I'm like, no, tell me the colors that you want. I will get you the yarn. Don't worry about it. And I took yarn in for them. So I reduced by, I think, 10 skeins of yarn. I am well sable, stash acquirement beyond life expectancy. And I really enjoy it, and I'm going to keep what I enjoy, but what doesn't bring me the spark that I need, because choices change, your whole demeanor changes over years. They say every 7 years you change who you are in a lot of ways. So things that I bought 10 years ago are no longer the colors or the feel that I want. So I don't mind donating and moving on with these things. So that's going to happen. And part of that is getting rid of all these mini skeins that I have. Does that mean that I'm not going to get an advent calendar this year? I don't know. Maybe. It depends on if one catches my eye. I really, really enjoyed the Charming You one. I really enjoyed the Suburban Stitcher that I did the sweater out of, and I'm still using in the next project because I have enough left over. But I'm not into the ones that are massively different colors or highly speckled, or, you know, I want cohesion in the 24. I want something, and I'm not really, I mean, though you're going to see a lot of rainbow here with the minis that I have in a few minutes. In fact, I can go into that now instead of doing this one. I'm not a super rainbowy person. God's Covenant, I get it, but it's not something I wear. So I am looking at doing a blanket. Now, where did I put that blanket? Here it is. I have started the Prism blanket, and this is in my Mischief Managed from a Harry Potter Season 3 Advent, the 12 Days of Christmas that was done in the past, and I have put those colors into this because I couldn't figure out anything else to do. But I have started the Prism blanket, and that is basically a square, not mitered square, but a knit to a certain number, increasing and then decrease. And so I've knit to the second one a certain number, and now I'm decreasing. And what I'm doing is contrasting colors. I am doing them on a set of needles that I just acquired. These are, believe it or not, from Temu. I was ordering something else. I pick up fun things for work. I pick up fun things for the cats and stuff off Temu. So I figured this popped up. Why not try them? I've been trying to get the Licca Copper, and I haven't been able to. So for $29, I picked up this, and it comes with cords that I would say compare to Chiagu. So I'm not sure if it's made by the same manufacturer or anything like that. They have the piano wire inside, so they're very bendable, but yet have memory. They are a copper. They have a beautiful point on them. And right now, I've only used them, you know, I got them in my Christmas stocking, but I'm enjoying them. I'm enjoying them as much as I enjoy the Chiagu. I like a metal needle. I like a good tip. They have a smooth join. They have the same kind of key as Chiagu. And I'm happy. I have not tried to see if the cables are interchangeable yet. It does come with a different bit for larger and for smaller. It goes from they are marked on there what size they are. And this one is a 3.0 millimeter all the way up to, I think this side is the larger size, a 10 millimeter. So that's a size US 15. And yeah, so far I'm liking them. But back to the blanket, and this is going to take me a while to do because it's when I can sit down and do it. But I took all of my scrap yarns and wound them up a little bit. So some are still in hanks, but not much. And I put all the blues and greens together. Now this is not all of my, this is just what I found in the month that I was looking for this. And then I put all the browns, oranges, and yellows together. Just using gallon-size Ziploc bags. And then, let's see if I can move that over. There we go. I put all the pinks together, which, can you tell what my favorite color is? So I have bunches of pinks, and these are falling down. And then wines and purples. And I have one gray in here, but I have a bunch of gray in the other room. And so the neutrals will be going into the grays, the brown, or the grays, the blacks, and the deeper browns will be going into that. And so I have all of these. I don't know how big the blanket's going to be. I don't know if I'll decide I want a pillow instead. Right now there's no plan. It's just reducing. Reduce, reduce, reduce. So I take a lighter color and I mix it with a darker color for the squares as they come out. And that's my happy right now. What size needle am I using on that? I'm holding it double and I'm using a 4mm. So again, it's just the Prism blanket. It's a free blanket that's out there, and I'm trying to not only use from Stash right now, but also use patterns that are either free or I have already purchased. I did purchase one pattern though, and that is by Stephen West. And that's why I said I don't know how far I'm going to finish this, because I like this other pattern. And it should be right here in my history. It's called the Rain or Shine blanket. And that one, I think, would be a great way to get rid of scraps as well. I have enough scraps I could probably do both. So I'm not stressing, because even with this blanket, as I'm done with one color, I don't want to continue on with that color. This one I'm being more selective with. And I have to think about what color goes where, but even with doubling it, I'm having a small ball left over. So I want to use it up. I don't want to just toss it. I mean, if it's that long, I'm probably tossing it. But for the main thing, why did I just close my computer? I don't know, because I need it for other things. And right now I'm talking. And so the brain is not working. Shh. I am not insane, I promise. Not today, not today. What is the next thing I'm working on? Let's go back over here. This one is my Humblebee, and I only did one row on it, but because I did a row, I'm still showing it. This is in my Firefly bag, and that's by Fate's Threads, and I believe she is no longer selling bags. This one has the Jane hat on it. I also have a Firefly bag, I don't know if it's out here or not, that has Serenity on it. And yeah, I'm loving this. It's just finding time to sit down and do it, because the rows are so long, because it starts at the very bottom and works up. And yeah, it's not asymmetrical, so it truly starts at the very bottom and works up. So this might be more of a summer knit for me, because it's light, it's cotton, it's airy, yeah. So I'm justifying. Can you see that? I am justifying. Okay, you should see my floor. Maybe I'll take a picture. I have another pair of socks going in Opal. This is Opal Beauty. And these are regular sock weight. I do a 64 cast on with a size 2 needle. I work on double points. Of course, it's top down, heel flap and gusset. And as you can see, I've done the leg, I'm done the heel, and now I'm at the point of the gusset and working down. It's self-striping, so it is just a mindless stockinette and forever sock. That's still sock 1. And this is being held in my queen bee bag. This one goes very easily into my purse and can be taken with me on a quest. We go on quests. That's what my brain came up with. Why not? We're having fun today, right? And this isn't all of my whips. I mean, I think I got down to 38 or 39 that I actually found, and I know I have other boxes. So this is not everything I have to work on. And I don't have a whole lot of knitting time. You would think I did. I think last year I figured out that I finished over 50 projects, including blankets, amigurumis, sweaters, socks, hats. So over 50 projects last year. When do I have time to do this? I don't know. And then I don't know if you can see right there, my new toy for the year is, that's a treadmill that will go under my desk for a walking desk. Right now it's out here so I can get used to it before I go hands-free with it, with my legs. And I'm going to be doing that more than I'm, sitting down knitting. I maybe have an hour or so at night to work on anything. This is my big sister sweater, and this is done in Puzzles yarn. And I don't know why my stitch holders aren't on, but I have my little Nomi guys, and it's being held in my Nomi bag. And this is by Abby's Creative. But this is a cotton blend yarn. And I don't pick this up all that much because, again, it's cotton blend, and so it's a thicker yarn and it's hard on the hands. But I have separated for the sleeves, and I am onto the body. I am just straight down. It works the edging at the same time, and so you do have to remember where the garter, so it looks like ribbing, goes. Some of those I've screwed up. If you look too closely, you're too close to me to notice, because if you get that close, you're wrong. Just back up. So it does have this fun statement piece at the top where it goes down for your shoulder, and I really like that. It gives it a bit of oomph there and support. And this is striping up nicely. I can't wait to wear this. It will probably be a next fall if I can finish it by then. The skeins are huge, and I have 2 more skeins to work with, and I'm only halfway through this one. That side's done, other than acquisitions, but this side still has more. So let me turn my chair a little bit and pull these over here. Whoops, one just hit the floor. That's the way it goes, right? Run away, run away. So this has been my go-to lately because I want to get it finished. I want to wear this one within the coming weeks. And what is the name of this pattern? I started this after the last episode went up, so I haven't, there we go. I haven't even talked about it before. I don't know how to pronounce it. Koivua, Koivua by Caitlin Hunter. And the pattern that the picture that she has for it has a lot more color work than what I went with. So there's that. I hope these are coming out. So for mine, the color work is done in this. It actually calls for, let me go back to that, hold on. it actually calls for worsted, and I'm using Aran, thick Aran. I wouldn't say it's bulky or chunky, but it is a thick Aran. This is very, very, very deep stash from Briar Rose. In fact, she doesn't dye much anymore. And I love, love, love her colors. And this has been just sitting there. I bought it originally to knit red cedar with because that gave me a red cedar vibe. I never knit that. I tried, I just couldn't get into it, so I didn't. And so I figured with some ecological wool, and this is one of their naturals colors. I think it's antique, but I'm not sure. But this is the skein. It's a brownie gray, beigey gray, grage, I don't know. I went and I have a loop in the back. I did the first part of the pattern. So I have done the symbols here. I did a texture here, the symbols, and then down into what I'm calling the feathers. I did it short sleeve. Yes, it is an Aran weight short sleeve because I work from home. I don't need long sleeves all the time. But throwing this on, I really love the high collar. It's got a little bit of a roll at the top. I love that. I did the same on the sleeves and did those in a 3x1 rib, just like the top portion. And now I am 11 inches down in the body, and I'm trying to decide how far down. I think I want to do another 3 inches of the body. Yeah, I like that. Another 3 inches of the body. And then I'll do, instead of only doing 10 rows of ribbing, I'll probably do 20 at the bottom. And then leave this little edge just like on the top and on the bottom, and get it all cohesive. So that's the front. This is the back. You can see I did short row shaping, and it's just simple. I did not do all of the color work that was supposed to be done in here. I didn't want that much bulk in it. Again, I wanted it short sleeve, so that's my choice. And I did a short gusset underneath the sleeve where I decreased just a little bit so that it would, I have bigger arms, and the way I'm trying to reduce, and I'm reducing some, I know it's not going to be quick. And I have the rule of knit to the body I am, not the body I want, because I want to be able to wear them. And so when I was thinner, I knit to that size, and those are tucked away. And when I'm my size now, I knit to this size, and you know, it just happens. So this is being held in my Christmas present from my hubby. He said, "What do you want for Christmas?" And I said, "Oh, let's support some friends." And I hollered to Cozy Sky, and I needed a Nomi bag. And because I live at the lake, we got a nautical Nomi. And this has one handle, so it's a stay-at-home bag for me, but it hangs up nicely. It does have the pull drawstrings, and I do have beads that were Nomis, and I don't know where they went. I am doing this on Knit Picks old square needles, 10.5. So I've changed the pattern a bit, but I think it's still recognizable. And I did the math on a swatch to see how many I would need to go up and down to be able to make it fit. And I think I'm actually doing the small, but because of my stitch gauge and the size of my yarn, it's definitely fitting me. I've tried it on and everything. So yeah, I'm very happy with it. And in my other Nomi bag, can you tell I like gnomes? Tomtes. I did not finish my Christmas yarn. This is Vesper sock yarn in Son of a Nutcracker. It is a self-striping yarn, and I'm doing them taller than normal. I'm about right there. So maybe by next year I'll have a pair of Christmas socks that I can do. These again are on size 2, 64 stitch, stockinette. I'm not doing anything special. Heel turn and gusset. Gusset's finished. I'm on the stockinette forever. Think I have 2 more. Let's look at the sock blocker. I think I have 2 more stripes, and then I begin the toe. So if you haven't seen a Hornshaw, it is made out of a plastic. You can put a wet sock on it and not worry about it warping. And it has the hanger on it, but they have holes so that it dries quickly. I can normally hang a pair of socks, and the next day they are ready to be worn or photographed or whatever. So if I pull this down with the negative ease, yeah, 2 to 3 more stripes, and then my toe, because the toe will be down here. And I'm not changing colors for the toe. There's enough of this yarn. I think it's a 465 yard skein. So plenty of yarn to be able to do 2 pairs of size 10 socks, because these are for me. And I've gotten into doing thicker socks more because I'm not home, I'm at home, and I throw my regular socks. I don't throw them in shoes, so they're more of like a slipper sock. But I just picked up new shoes that I am dying. Oh my gosh, my daughter got me into Xero shoes. And so they are lower heel. And I've worn a pair of tennis shoes for a week now. And my lower back pain is much less because of them. And I just got a pair of the boots. They're a tennis shoe boot, and that'll help with my ankle. But I'm really, if you have hip pain or lower back pain, check out Xero shoes. It's Xero, and loving it. So in my hippopotamus bag, this one is from the Silver Shed. This is a pair of duckies. I have 1 done and 1 to go. I have it cast on, I'll show you. I just don't have it finalized. So these are in executive producer by Chicken Lady Fiber Arts. This was named after the puppy that passed away from 2 Sisters and Some Yarn. And these are duckies, so they're a free DK weight pattern. And I have them put on a holder because I had to use the needles. I wanted to change to these needles, and I just haven't gotten there yet. I had them on a different set of needles that I broke one of them. So when I broke, I picked up all of this with a needle attached to the end of this Try-It-On tubing, and I just need to get back and put these in. And I have that much more to go. So that will get finished. As I'm trying to take that off, because I'm not sure if I have more socks. I might. I know I have more socks going. I just may not have brought them out because I didn't work on them. I am only showing what I worked on since my last episode, and I try to keep track. So as I work on it, I put it in one area of the room compared to the UFO pile, unfinished objects. So there's that. This one is my Electra cardigan, I believe. projects. Yes, I took to putting it back on Ravelry. I'm not interacting on there, but I needed something to keep me on par. I needed to order, and I just did, 2 more skeins of Another Gray Hair by Chicken Lady Fiber Arts in the Leghorn. I think that I call it Foghorn Leghorn, the rooster colorway, you know, or the yeah, if of the age, yeah, you get it. But this is the pattern that I am doing, and the color that I am using is pretty much that color. I fell in love with it. I'm like, why change it? Because it's perfect. But I changed it. It's supposed to be done in pieces. No. We're doing it flat. So I cast on for the whole body, fronts and backs. And I got that part done. And so let's try to put this on. So this is my front here. And of course it's going to block out to be much longer than what it is showing here. Hey, there's some of my DNA. And then I did the other front. Okay. And then I did the back, and I'm at the point of the back where I need to do short rows and start forming the back of the neckline to come forward, because as you see, the top of this part doesn't have the neckline on it. And I still need to do sleeves. I have 1 more skein and this, and I haven't wound up the 1 more skein. Now I have a hot pink that came with it. That's the Chicken Lady Fiber Arts, and it is Leghorn, and that is 100% superwash, 150 yards per skein, hand wash only, in Another Gray Hair. But I love this, and it is so squishy and so soft. I am doing this up on Chiagu size 11 needles. Nice and chunky, nice and wonderful. The sleeves will come down from here. What I did to join these together is I took the count that they had, because I was getting gauge and everything. And then I know that there's 1 joining stitch on each side, so I subtracted that until I got to the point where I knew I would have to use a joining stitch. And I'm just getting the rest of this little ball that's left because there isn't much. And I added back in, when I was decreasing, I didn't decrease as many as what they said because I wanted that 1 stitch left on both sides. So like for the sleeves where I know I'm going to lose a stitch, I left that. For the neckline where I know I'm going to lose a stitch for joining, I left that. But in going for the body, and instead of going all the way in the round and doing a steek, because there's no point in that because it's a cardigan, so I can just knit it back and forth flat. I don't row out with purl to knit. The way I knit, I'm pretty consistent. I mean, I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I'm pretty consistent in my tension for knits and purls. This is in my bag that Boo got me for my birthday from Emma Ball. But so I didn't mind knitting back and forth, and I knew they were long things, but I knew that it was only, 12 inches and it's going to grow. And because my swatch showed me that, and that was a smaller swatch than what this is, so there's much more weight. So I know that when I block it out, it's going to be longer. It'll probably be about 14 inches. And I don't want it as a blazer type cardigan. I want it more as a bolero, so I can wear it with a pair of gray wool slacks and a pop of color underneath or something. Honestly, I have a hot pink silk shirt that I wear with a pair of gray slacks to work, and I could throw this on over it and that would be perfect. When I ordered this, I ordered one skein of hot pink with it, thinking that I would do something with a pop. But the more I look at this pattern, the more I want it all in gray, and then I can do that pop somewhere else. So I ordered 2 more skeins and they should be here next week. That was just in my determination of knitting on it this last weekend and knowing that I needed to get enough yarn to finish the sweater. So there is that. The next thing I have been working on is my person sweater. I have to pull this out and finish working on it. I am doing this on an I hook 5.25 millimeter. I am doing the Magnus cardigan. And the Magnus cardigan, I have knit 3 other times. 2 for my sister, 1 for me. I ripped out the one for me. This one's going. I still need to finish the one for me. It'll get done. It just isn't yet. So I am making this for my person. She lives up in Alaska. This is the one I made for my sister. And I'm doing this out of Caron Colorama Halo, Perfect Phasing, and Lion Brand Wool Ease. My person is getting blues. I have secured for the shoulders. Whoops, just dropped that. And I am to the point where I go down for the arms, and I've already started some of that. And I'm trying to phase it so that even though I'm using 1 skein, I want here to change at the same rate as here. So I've done 4 repeats on this side. I've done 2 repeats. So what I'm doing is 2 and then 2 and then 2 and then 2. And so there's going to be some ends to weave in. It happens. But at the end of it, what I do is you're supposed to crochet a rib along. I pick up and I knit that because that's what I prefer. And I know that this is going to fit her, and I've still got pockets to do on the outside, and I will do the straight granny, put them on pockets, so that's easy. But I have a lot of yarn still to use and a lot of time to do it. This is in one of the tote bags that I collect. I'm the youngest sister. The rules don't apply to me. I'm the baby of the family. The rules don't apply to me. I'm the wife of the family. The rules don't apply to me. I agree with that. So I like that one. And I think at this point I'm on the last project I have worked on this last month. I think it's been a month and a half, but anyways. I am not ripping this out. I screwed up. You're only going to know it because I'm going to point it out, and I'm not ripping it out. Them's the rules. The rules don't apply to me. I have switched this over to the Temu needles, and I am much more enjoying this than the shorties I had them on. So what did I do? So this is the Westford is it Westford Wanderer? Yeah, I don't know. It's by Stephen West. Let me look it up because I want to get the name right. And I'm terrible with names, regardless of where they come from. I'm just terrible with names. And why am I not even seeing it in here? That's why. It's not in here. So it's probably in my patterns. So let me go to my patterns. I use Note Shelf for my patterns. And yeah, it's the Westford Wanderer. And I'm like, I have colors that'll do that. And I started this. I picked out the yarns for it probably 4 years ago. I started this while I was in South Dakota. So we've been here 1.5 years. I'm not through the 65 triangles at the bottom yet. So I started here and everything was going smoothly, and I'm not doing ABCD. I thought I would, and I'd be real anal about it. Do you know me? I'm not anal. No. So every time this turns, it's 5. So I have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And then I move back here, and can you tell what happened? Can you tell? I added stitches. I don't know how I added stitches. So they got bigger. So here, and now I have almost twice the size of the turn as, yeah, And then I went, oh, that shouldn't be doing that. So here I started decreasing some. Look at how big those are. And so I'm back down to the normal number. And I've got to finish this wedge, which should make me to 60. And then I've got one more wedge to do, which should get me to 65. So basically it's a big shawl. Nobody's going to know unless I point it out. Or if I block it real hard, you'll never know. Or, I just don't care. I want this done. So the colors that I am using, I have this in an Erin Lane bag. Oh my goodness. How many years ago? I got this at, I think, the first Stitches that I went to in Schaumsburg. I had gone to a Stitches in Rose, can't remember, right outside of Chicago. It's a suburb, Rose something. And I went to the one in Schaumsburg, and I bought this bag, and it says, knitters will keep you in stitches. And I keep some of my fun pins on it. And this is a double. That's why you get all the marl look. And I had picked up yarn. I went with Kobe CJ Copac to Yarn Con in 2018. Might have been 19. One of them. And I got yarn from her that is merino and silk to do the, it's the one by Joji Locatelli that has feather something, I don't know, scarf. And it's a wrap, and I never did it. But I had these 5 colors to do that. And I thought, why not add 2 more, because I have some stash yarn, and these kind of soften the glisten of that, so they soften it up a little bit. And these are straight merino, these are merino silk, all of them are singles, so I'm doing this all in singles. And you saw what it's coming out like. I'm really happy with it. And so at night, when all I can think of in my brain is garter stitch and I have wrap and turns, this is what I'm pulling out. It sits right by my chair. And I want to get this done because once it's done, as you can see, all the ends on this end are woven in. As I get through each one of these, I tend to weave them into the I-cord. And so I still have a few to do. But these are my flowers and bees balls that I put, and I had been using my needle ends in that, but since this has gotten a little bit longer, I like using these. So I think for knitting, not that an hour and 10 minutes isn't enough, but I think for knitting, that's all I have. Now I have some spinning to talk about, and some acquisitions. So let me go through acquisitions first. That way, if you're not interested in the spinning, you need a sip of water. It's been an hour. But you can sign off if you'd like. I got a call. I had told you that I had gone to a local yarn store and I had picked up some turquoise yarn. I think I talked about it in the last episode, for a knitted sweater. And I don't know if I'm going to knit with it, or if or it's a crocheted sweater. I don't know if I'm going to crochet that sweater or if I'm going to knit something else with that. But while I was there, she talked to me about some alpaca fiber that she had. And as a spinner, she wasn't interested in spinning it. She cleaned up some of it, but the rest of it still had some dander in it. Some alpacas are not super dirty. You can spin it straight from the fleece. You don't need to clean it, but she was trying to, and she said, I'm over it. And now I'm only seeing one of the bags. The other bag took a runner, but anyways. So I have 2 bags about this size. There it is. I'm going to get it. And one of them are clean, and one of them is not. In fact, I'm going to pull this chair away. Oh, and stand for a little bit because my back is yelling at me. So this is an alpaca fleece that was given to her, and she gave it to me. And I'm like, do you want money for it? Do you want an exchange for it? I've got the Rambouillet that I had done in South Dakota. I have a bunch of that. And she's like, nope, I just want it gone. So this gorgeous, oh my goodness, red-headed chestnut color is what I have. This is the cleaned. And I would say there's probably 3 pounds. I mean, but of course this one is, it's all the same color. This one's still the dirty, so it's going to be weighted with the dirt. This is cleaned. I'd say between the 2 bags, there's about 3 pounds. And I am so excited. So that is one of my acquisitions. And I have a lot of spinning fiber that I need to get spun up. And I'm going slowly and I'm doing it, but it will get done. It will. Other acquisitions. While I was at said yarn store, you can't go to a yarn store without buying something. I've been wanting to do is it the Soho hat? That's not good. I can't remember the name. I know I bought it. It's just a meanie. And let me go to my library. I think it's from Pearl Soho, and it's their hat recently added. Let's see. I can't remember. But it's a fold top hat. It has a brim that's you fold up and then you knit. It's just a basic hat. And I got some Sandus Garn in Sunday. And they're 10 silk mohair in a darker. So these don't have color names, they just have color numbers. And so I'm going to knit this. It's a carry along. Why can I not remember? You're probably shouting the name of it. I'll try to remember and put it in the bottom, but I don't normally do show notes. So if that screws you up, that screws you up. But while I was there, this just sang to me. And because I need yarn, because it's pretty, I bought it. And it was before the turn of the year. This is from Emma's Yarn in Crazy Beautiful, Simply Spectacular DK in the colorway Set Sail. So I am going to set sail with this, and I don't know what it will become. I think it's going to become a simple shawl or simple scarf, and that's a lot like a Sophie scarf, but it's a simple scarf and it's a free pattern. So those were my acquisitions. Other than my director of operations gave me a gift. I gave her one like I talked about. She knows I'm a bag hoe, not a hoe bag. Knitting, because murder is wrong. She gets me. She gets me. So that's my new bag for the year. Love it. So I have been doing some of the sample spinning, and I have Lincoln Top, Kent Romney, Finnish Top, Targhee, and Horn Dorset. So what I do when I do these samples, they're approximately 25 grams. They're all comb top. And then I pull out my Fleece and Fiber source book and I talk about them. So I think I'm going to go in order of what I have them marked. So I'm going to go to the Horn Dorset. The Horn Dorset, my notes on spinning this was that it was a beautiful spin, no problems whatsoever. It is more like a downy, really crimpy and beautiful. So I pull them off onto weaving bobbins. I've always rested on weaving bobbins, and then I will pull them off and ply them and put them back in their little bag with their tag. So the staple length on this one was 2.5 to 4 inches, which I'd say it was right in there. About 3.5 inches was normal. Country of origin is England. And what about the Dorset, horned and pulled Dorset? They came into existence hundreds of years ago through the origins, though the origins are a mystery. Many historians think that they developed through crossbreeding Spanish Merinos or Rambouillets, which are French Merinos, with native horned bedecked Welsh sheep. So they're a breed of their own, but they were a cross for a time. Normal fleece weight is 4.5 to 9 pounds, depending if you get a lamb, a ewe, or a ram. Staple length is 2.5 to 5 inches. Fiber diameter, you're talking 26 to 33 microns, which isn't the super softest. You're looking at, 17 for merino to 20. But it is a nice poofy yarn, and it's very nice in a sweater. It is next to skin. They have dense locks with strong but irregular crimp in their fibers. They are adorable. There's that little sheep. And it is, to me, it's one that I would go to for dyeing, for getting the colors that you want, because they're not a true white, but they're close enough to a really, really milky white, like a cream white, that it takes color beautifully. So there is kimp in their fiber, so you do kimp are like guard hairs, and so you want to get that out as you're working with it. I really enjoyed spinning it up. I want to see how it feels after I wash and knit it up. Not sure what I'm doing with these yet. Again, it's windy out there. Yeah, just a little bit. I'm hearing my vent fan click, so if you're hearing that too, that's what that is. I don't know what I'm doing with it, but I'm making up small things and we'll see what it is in the end. I've made several shawls this way. I don't know what the next project's going to be with all of these. I'm going to go on to the Lincoln, and Lincoln is a long wool. And this definitely was a long wool. I would say most of it was 5 to 6 inches in length. I have a little bit of my starter yarn. It didn't want to spin overly fine. This was a tougher spin for me because it's more hair-like. So if I pull, you're going to see that that's the length of the fiber. I mean, it is long. And I normally keep just a tuft at the end so I can see what the actual fiber was. But this one was one I spun from the fold instead of a short forward draw like I did with the Dorset. And it's definitely outer garment to me, or blanket. It's not a next to skin soft for me. But I know people that absolutely adore Lincoln long wool. And it is a native sheep of Lincolnshire, evolved from the time when the Roman Empire extended the reach to the east coast of England. These native Lincoln sheep were tall with long, coarse fleeces, but they were also thin animals that didn't provide good meat. Robert Bakewell used some of the native Lincolnshire sheep to develop the Leicester long wool. Later, shepherds of Lincolnshire brought in some of the Bakewell's improvised Leicester rams to breed with the native ewes in order to improve the carcass quality for meat, because, you know, you got to eat. And through continued selection, the Lincoln long wool was developed as a recognizable dual-purpose breed by the late 1700s. They generally have 11 to 16 pounds yield on their fleece. Their 7 to 15 inches is the normal, with an average of 7 to 10. This one was, like I said, 5 to 6. It's 41 microns. And it depends on where it's from. US is 33 minimum, 41 maximum. UK, not specific for white colored, but normally 40 to 45. And in New Zealand, the white can be 36 to 41, with the colored being 38 to 44 microns. Now, microns is how soft it is, like I said. And the softer it is, the more you want it next to your skin, but it's also normally the downier it is. And it depends on the style. This, I know a lot of people that love doing lace work with their knitting. This is a very good long staple to give definition to lace work. So there is that. Let's go on to the next one in order here. Let's go to Romney, and I have a Kent Romney, which I believe Kent is just the area of England that it came from. This is a longer wool, but not as long as the Lincoln long wool. And it was not as hard to spin. So I was able to do a long backwards draw instead of a short backwards or short forward draw. And so when I'm pulling back, I didn't do an unsupported, I didn't do a long draw, but it was a complete supported and smoothed for a worsted spun. But this is what my spinning came out like. Of course, these are just singles. They haven't been plied yet. And Romney is a marsh breed. The Romney Marshes is 100 square miles coastal plain in southeast England and is below sea level. It is kept habitable by centuries-old system of drainage ditches and seawalls started by the Romans during their control of Britain about 43 to 410 Common Era, and expanded during the medieval period of 1216 through 1484. That area started out as a huge salt marsh with a few higher and drier areas interspersed among the large swaths of permanently wet areas. So sheep were brought into the marsh as its earliest inhabitants, but the wet conditions of the animals usually yielded poor quality fleece and suffered from health problems and rot. Centuries passed and the sheep adapted to these conditions. Ultimately, they were able to produce usable fiber in spite of the environment. In the mid-19th century, shepherds in the marsh improved the area's native sheep, which had been adapting to local areas for centuries through a combination of intensive selection and introduction of the Dishley Leicester bloodlines. Again, another Robert Blakewell's addition. This led to the modern Romney breed, which grows high quality fleece even from soggy locations. So this is another smooth-faced, fluffy sheep. And I love sweaters on the hoof. The fleece of a Romney is large and dense with well-defined crimp and hangs in separate locks. The wool should ideally be uniform in spinning count throughout the fleece, and the crimp should be consistent from the butt to the tip of each staple. So the butt is the cut area of a staple. So they normally have 8 to 12 pounds of a yield on a fleece. Staple length is 4 to 8 inches. This one wasn't that long. I'm trying to look. Yeah, I was going to say it was about 3 inches. So this was on the shorter side of that. And the microns on this are 29 to 36, so a bit softer than the others that we've worked with in this go round. Really, really enjoy this. I've spun Romney before. I've enjoyed Romney over the years. I am getting all of these from Hearthside Fibers. That's where I got one of my sample packs. There's a couple other places on Etsy that you can get them. So, yeah. I'm not sure what's going on. It's natural lighting, so as I go in and out, it's the camera. Sorry. The next one I'm going to talk about is Finn. This was the dark one that I spun this time. And this is Finn sheep. Oh, they are so cute. So cute. Cat's food. You're going to hear them. I have an electric cat thing. So a Finn sheep, also known as Finnish land race or just Finn for short. Finn sheep are an ancient Scandinavian breed, though there is little knowledge about their early ancestry. They are known to be one of the most prolific sheep in the world. As with the Romanovs, litters can be as many as 9 lambs born at a time. 3 to 4 lambs are more common. So good mamas. Finn's fleeces are light, averaging around 5 pounds when cleaned, but their wool, often described as silky, is more sleek than fluffy. It is very much a, to me, very much a lace. It would be great for lace work, no matter what size. I spun this up in my true, I have a leader on this, let's see, in my true sport weight, so that's a sport signal for me. And it is extremely lustrous. It's got depth. When you look at this color, you can see the depth within it. And I might look at getting a Finn fleece. I really, really liked spinning this. It's normally 4 to 8 pounds, like it was saying, 3 to 6 inch staple length. It's a 24 to 31 micron, with most being 24, with Canadian fins running thinner at 22 to 24. So American fins are a little bit coarser. And then the coarsest is a New Zealand fin, which runs 25 to 33. So lock characteristics are open fleece, which can easily be separated, and slightly pointed. Occasionally sun damage. The ends, you want to break off the sun damage if that happens. You don't want to spin that in. And the last one I'm going to talk about today is one of my favorites to spin, and that's a Targhee. And this is origin country of the United States, 21 to 25 microns, staple length of 3 to 5. I did this in just a Zen-like short forward draw. Absolutely adored working with this yarn, or with this fiber, making yarn. And the Targhee breed, in 1926, researchers at the USDA Sheep Experiment Station in DuBois, Idaho, began breeding Rambouillet rams to Corriedale and Lincoln Rambouillet ewes, quickly crossing the offspring to each other. Their goal was to produce an all-around dual-purpose sheep that would thrive on the range or in farm operations in the states of the West and the High Plains. They named their new breed Targhee after the national forest where the station's sheep grazed in the summer months. A large-framed animal, the Targhee indeed has superb production traits of both meat and fleece. From its fine wool ancestors, the Targhee gets fine fiber diameters, which means its wool is very soft, yet the handling qualities feel like it comes from the long wool forebears. The fiber diameters overlap those of medium to so-called strong merinos and mini Rambouillet. Targhee wool has loft and good elasticity, although of the sort that makes it lively and supple rather than springy. And it lends itself to sorts of fabrics you'll want to wrap yourself in, both for softness and for elegance. Do I not have a picture of these guys? I got a picture of a really cute Ryland there and a picture of a really cute Texel, but I don't have a picture of a Targhee. The Targhee sheep are named for the national forest where they grazed in the summer, but how did that national forest get into a name? The name Caribou Targhee National Forest, located primarily in eastern Idaho, western Wyoming, and northern Utah, is a gateway to the Yellowstone and Grand Teton National Parks. Established by President Theodore Roosevelt in 1908, the Targhee National Forest was named in honor of Chief Targhee, a Bannock Indian warrior who negotiated one of the earliest treaties with the United States government. The Shoshone Bannock tribe still maintains ancestral treaty rights to use the Caribou Targhee National Forest. So yeah, I love Targhee. And if you haven't picked up this book, if you're a spinner, it's been out for a while. I've been using it for years and years and years. There's another one that goes with it that's much smaller. And then there's In Sheep's Clothing, which is really good as well. When I bought this, it was $35. And I believe I have a first edition. And this came out in, where's my date? 2011. So it's been a while, but really good source book. So that's all I have on my podcast today. I guess, it's been an hour and a half. Thank you for sticking with me. I know sometimes I ramble on. I've had some people ask me if I would do some demonstrations. I've been trying. I just don't know how to set up my camera properly for it. So at this point in time, probably not. But I would like to get into talking about different needles and different ways of doing things. I won't say I'm an expert because I can always learn something more, but I am knowledgeable, and I like to give off that knowledge to other people. Sometimes I come off as a know-it-all, but I'm not. I know what I know, and I learn more every day. If you want me to talk about something specific, give me a holler. Give me an idea. I'm going to try and have a focused part. Like this one was more focused on sheep, and I'm still got, I think, 20 more breeds to go through. So I'm going to be doing some of those, but I would like to get into other things. I watch a lot of podcasts because I have downtime. I use them as background, so I may not be watching until I turn and say, hey, that looks cool. I hear something, but I'm listening. It's in my background. I've also been doing a lot of audiobooks. I think last year I read over 200 books, but most of them by audiobooks. And I am doing the Bible recap for the second year in a row. I finished it last year and I'm restarting it because I want to relearn. The more you're in the Word, the more it gets into you. So I guess, as always, check your checkbook before starting the high fiber diet, and have a great month. Bye-bye.